Shalom, giving all praise to Yahweh Shem Shai B'Shem Kodash. I'm going to entitle this video, Dr. Brown says, because we didn't circumcise our children, we will be cut off. So even if we were Israelites, we would be cut off because I'm talking about before we came to the truth, our parents, our grandparents, our great-great-grandparents didn't necessarily circumcise themselves. Or if they did, they didn't circumcise themselves 8 days. I myself was circumcised in the hospital, and I believe it was eight days in. Now, did my mother do it because of the Torah? No, she did it because I was part of the hospital that I was born in, which was a religious hospital. So I was circumcised. So, you know, I'm good. What about the ones you Israelites that never got circumcised or got circumcised later in life? You're still not cut off because you're Israelites. You're still not cut off. But anyway, this is Holy Bible Defenders, and I saw a video where Dr. Brown had made a statement in a debate with, it could have been somebody else put the video up, but I'm almost positive it was this video, but I can't seem to find it. But if somebody knows where it is, you can, you know, put it in the description box. But anyway, that's a statement that he made, Dr. Brown, in that debate, that, you know, you guys didn't circumcise yourself. Maybe you're circumcising yourself now, but you didn't circumcise yourself in the past. So you're cut off, which is a stupid fucking argument. See, what he doesn't understand is that we were lost as a people. And this is something that Vocab Malone teaches, that the Israelites always knew that they were Israelites. And there's many scriptures to disprove what you're saying. We were lost, so we're coming back. This is what Ezekiel, the 37 chapter is all about, the restoration of Israel. The Lord said in Matthew 17, I believe it's 11 verse, and I have it in my list here. I put a list together. I'm gonna mostly let the scriptures speak. He spoke about Elijah coming back to restore all things. What does it mean to restore something? If you have an old piece of furniture, there's people that will restore it. They'll make it new again. If you forget, if you suffer a stroke and you experience amnesia, the job is to what? Is to get your memory back by what? Restoring your memory. What does memory go back to? It goes back to the past. Remembrance. So we were lost as a people. There was a point of time for so many years, we could even say 2,000 years, or even more in some cases with Israelites, that we didn't know that we were the Israelites. So we're being that's what the whole Ezekiel 37 chapter is all about. Ezekiel saw a valley, a flat land with bones scattered through it, and they were very dry, meaning there was no life to those bones. There was no marrow in the bones. There was nothing to work with. And then he saw the bones come together. What do you think that is? That's Israel coming back together. And it even says it in the same chapter. These bones are the whole house of Israel. I'm so tempted to read that chapter because it's one of my favorite chapters, by the way, because in a nutshell, if you speak to somebody about how do you say that we're Israelites, and this is somebody talking, asking a question, how do you know that we're Israelites when you had the Jews over there and they always knew that they were the Israelites? So how can you guys say that you're the Israelites? Ezekiel 37 chapter, it says we were dry bones, we were dead. The scriptures say, shall remain in the congregation of the dead. We were dead, Revelation 11. Like I said, I can't find the video. I don't know if the elder took it down, or maybe it was on another one of his pages, but I found it in the video in my other room, which I'm not going to go to look for it. I'm not going to go crazy. Just send me the video. But Dr. Brown, I heard and seen Dr. Brown in a debate say that you guys didn't circumcise yourselves, so the Lord says you cut off. Yeah, that's back when we knew that we were Israelites. It says if you don't, excuse me, if you don't circumcise your child on the 8th day. Did I put it up? I did put it up. I'm not gonna look for it though. Let me do this. Let me just do this. Put up cut off. Okay, bear me for a minute. Okay, this is Genesis 17, verse 14. You know what? Let me see what 9. Let me read this. I will establish my covenant with you. I neither shall all flesh be cut off anymore. And cut off means to be killed. Because it says it right here. Genesis 9, verse 11, and I will establish my covenant with you, neither shall all flesh be cut off. Now that covenant went to the 3 sons of Noah, went to Noah, went to his wife, went to his sons, and went to their wives and their children. So can you apply that covenant of the rainbow to all nations? Yes, you can. Now you have vocab trying to be slick Willie. Well, wait a minute. There's a covenant for all nations. What about this? Yeah, that's one covenant. The Most High gave him different covenants. He said, and more, any more by the waters of a flood. Neither shall there any more be a flood to destroy the earth. So that's a covenant to all mankind, whether you're an Israelite or not. But like I said, that you can't apply that to what is that? Jeremiah 31 and 31. You cannot apply that to Hebrews 8, verse 6 on down. See, it says covenant there. Yes, that covenant specifically went to Israel. The law is being put in the inward part. It says, second precept, Genesis 17, verse 14, and the uncircumcised man child. And this was before Moses this is before Moses was even thought of. So this was a spoken law. And the uncircumcised man child, whose flesh of his foreskin is not circumcised, that soul shall be cut off from his people. He has broken my covenant. So this was a separate covenant outside the covenant of the law, statutes, and commandments. And this was given to Abraham to circumcise all of his sons when they were born, 8 days. The first son, Ishmael, the second son, Isaac, the 6 sons from Keturah. And it went down the line that Isaac, he had his son, he had Abraham, Isaac, Jacob. Jacob was circumcised. All the sons that came out of Jacob, they were circumcised. All of the sons that came out of the sons that ultimately the 12 tribes, the patriarchs, which there was 13 tribes all in the beginning. That's why in the wilderness they got cut off, because you know what? They wouldn't circumcise their children. Joshua had to make them circumcise their children because they stopped circumcising their children. And then jump up in history during the time of the Maccabees, the Antiochs Epiphanes. He commanded that no male child should be circumcised. If we find out that you're circumcising your children, we're going to kill the mother. And I believe they killed the mother, and then they hung the babies, the male babies. Then in Second Maccabees, I believe it's 6. I mean, I can go to it. Matter of fact, I am going to go to it. So that was a stupid statement that the doctor made, oh, they don't circumcise. But myself, I was circumcised as a baby, newborn baby. So you can throw that in the garbage. But the ones of our people that didn't circumcise themselves, guess what? They're still gonna make it because they're Israelites. That was when they knew the law. The scriptures say, I shall bring all things to your remembrance, though you once knew this. This is a waste of fucking time dealing with these clown ass Christians. And now they're bringing scholars, and he's a fucking clown making a stupid statement like that. Does he deal with the New Testament? And this is for you, Vocab. Since you bigging up these small hats in Israel, now one of them devils have, called on the name of Messiah. So what's going to happen to them? Now one of them going to make it. They're not even calling on the Messiah. They're not calling on a white Messiah. So you should be over there telling them that there's a Messiah. And why didn't they know that there was a Messiah? They're waiting for the Messiah because 2,000 years ago, none of them devils were there as a people. Where I said I was going to go. Let me see. Okay, second. Maccabees 6, I believe. Okay, I'll start from the 6th verse. I'll start from the 4th verse. Start from the 3rd verse. You know what? I'll start from the 1st verse. Second Maccabees 6, verse 1. It says, not long after this, the king sent an old man of Athens, which was an Israelite, to compel the Jews to depart from the laws of their fathers and not to live after the laws of the Most High. That's why you have Gentiles, Vocab Malone. That's why you have heathens in the New Testament, Gentiles in the New Testament, and Greeks in the New Testament. When you come across the word Greek, Greek, 99% of the time, 99.9% of the time is talking about Israelites that did not know that they were Israelites at that time. There's maybe a couple of times where it says Greek and it's talking about the Greeks. If you go into the different translations, the word Gentile is interchangeable with the word Greek. Like the woman, the Syrophoenician woman, the woman was a Greek, she was an Israelite. She was an Israelite. It says, speaks about the Jews and the Greeks in Galatians 8 and 20, was it Galatians 3 and 28, 29, around there. It says the Jews and the Greeks. So vocab would jump up and see, you say it says the Greeks. Yeah, the Greeks were Israelites. Cornelius would be considered a Greek or a Gentile or a heathen, but he was an Israelite. It says, not long after this, the king sent an old man of Athens to compel the Jews to depart from the laws of their fathers and not to live after the law of the Most High. And some of them, for fear of death, they complied. That's why you got Cornelius, and you got heathens in the New Testament that Paul went to. That's why the Apostle Paul said in Romans the 11th chapter, I am the apostle of the how do you say it? I'm the apostle of the Gentiles. Therefore, I magnify my office. Meaning he's going to go to as many Israelites who Gentiles or Israelites in a Gentile state of mind. That's the term that we use to wake them up. And Cornelius was the key example. Let's read on. 2nd verse. And to pollute also the temple of Jerusalem. And how did they profane the temple? They put a pig in there. And that's how we know Like they'll say, "Oh, Antiochus Epiphanes he was Syrian." No, he came out of Syria, dumbass. He was an Edomite, and to call it the temple of Jupiter Olympus. And by the way, Jupiter Olympus, which goes back to Zeus, the Roman equivalent of Zeus is Jupiter, but his actual name was Zeus. Zeus and Jupiter, uh, fictional, uh, fictional characters that happen to be black. Just like you got your superheroes today, you had your superheroes back then. And that in Gerizim of Jupiter, the defender of strangers, as they did desire that dwelt in the place. The coming in of this mischief was not what you bring. Vocab is mischief. You're mischievous, and was sore and grievous to the people. What people? The Israelites. All people, everybody. No, Israelites. For the temple was filled with riot and raveling by the what? By the Gentiles, the other nations, who dallied with harlots. So they went into the Holy of Holies, the temple, and they were partying in there, and they were having orgies up in there, man. How the fuck can you make it? How the fuck can you devils make it? You are programmed to be a demon, and had to do. That's why you're gonna go where you're gonna go. And had to do with the women within the circuit of the holy places. Now there's a thing, look this up, called temple prostitutes, where they have sex in the name of Baal Peor. Look that up. You Christians don't know. You Christians don't know shit. You're picking up your game by watching us. And besides that, brought in things that were not lawful. Like I said, they went to the altar and they put a pig up there. It says the altar also was filled with. That's why you're gonna be Obadiah 1:18. That's why we're gonna enslave your ass for 1,000 years, and then we're gonna gather you all together, and we're gonna burn you. We're gonna burn you 1,000 years from now. So you're gonna get your ass whipped every day except the high holy days, and at the end of that 1,000 years. Now, it doesn't say in the scripture, if somebody says, well, where does it say we're going to enslave Edomite for exactly 1,000 years? It doesn't say that. It says that Israel is going to be set up for first 1,000 years. Then the rest of eternity is going to be given back to Yahushua, but we're going to rule with him. See, it's going to take us 1,000 years to kick your ass. And then after that, we're going to get rid of you. The other nations, they're going to be intact. They're going to get their what do you call it? Their vine and their fig tree, and their plot of land. But you ain't gonna have no land. It says, and I can't wait. Esau, stop dragging your motherfucking feet and bringing that charagma. Baby. Bring that charagma. Bring Donald Trump back, aka Nero. Let him bring the guillotines with him. Let's get this party started right. Let's get this party. I pray, Yahweh Shem Yahushai, if it be your will that this guy's supposed to come back into office, that would be nice. He would move things. He would get things going. He would get things popping. We like that devil, even though he's the devil. But guess what? His reward is going to be getting a foot up his ass sideways for 1,000 years. It says the altar also. See, when we teach, we think about, we picture shit and we get mad. We picture shit, bro. I can picture this motherfucking place being rolled together as a scroll. I can picture the mushroom cloud. I can picture this place on 5,000 square miles, up in flames, inside of 1 hour. It says the altar also was filled with profane things, which the law forbid, because they don't give a damn about the law. In the land of Israel, they're raising hell out there against this guy, Netanyahu. And this devil got the nerve to have the name of the Most High in his name. Benjamin means son of the right, and he ain't right. by his own people. And they're not playing it on CNN, the Cartoon News Network, which is a fucking joke. And you people out there, you're fucking sleep. This is why I don't want to be around nobody. If you're not an Israelite and you're not in this truth, meaning in this truth, I don't want to be around you. I don't want to go in the elevator with you. I don't want to walk down. I don't want you to ask me what time it is. I want you to get the fuck out my way. When you are on a level of a certain intelligence over the rest of the people, you look down on them people. See, you got that right with racists. You're racist too, motherfucker. Southern Poverty Law Center, they're a bunch of fucking racists. You think the top leadership of the Southern Poverty Law Center, which are so-called white people, you think they're gonna let their daughters marry black men? Oh, that shit ain't happening, man. That shit ain't. You really what? You should think about it. You know, oh, I got a boyfriend. We're gonna have Sunday dinner. All of a sudden, this Edomite chick brings home a Jake. And hey, there was a movie on that to show you the total hypocrisy of this fucking country. It was called Guess Who's Coming to Dinner? And I saw the movie. Now the hypocrisy of this motherfucking movie is this. You had Spencer Tracy and I believe Katharine Hepburn played the mother. And they had a beautiful daughter, beautiful Edomite daughter. And they taught this daughter all her life, you can't be racist. You can't be racist. You know, all of us are equal, all that bullshit. So guess what? She saw Jake, Sidney Poitier, and she fell in love with the Jake. And then she told her parents, oh, I'm going to bring my fiance home. And they're all happy to, you know, see shit. Then she comes home, the door opens, he comes in the damn place. And they almost have a heart attack. That shows you the complete hypocrisy of this man. The complete hypocrisy of this man. So let me get back into it. It says the altar also was filled with. That's why they push him back. Oh man, they got the truth. We got to stop them. We got to stop them. It said the altar also was filled with profane things which the Lord forbid it. Neither, and to show you that this is the don't look. If Trump comes in and puts his hand on the Bible this time and read out of the book of wisdom, Most High gonna get you for that because you allow modes to exist. You pass law. Look, Trump never condemned modes, man. He never said let's go back to the Sabbath. You can eat 24 hours a day in America. You can go shopping 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. No, they don't honor the Most High. Their lips do honor the Most High, but their heart is far from them because they don't believe in the Sabbath. That's one that if you didn't do nothing wrong, if you treated us correct, the fact that you didn't proclaim a Sabbath to the people, you're gonna be destroyed. Just for that. Just for that, you're gonna be a mushroom cloud. Just for that one thing. You can be, I'm nice to black people, I'm nice, you're the Israelites, you can keep the laws. But we ain't gonna go into the Sabbath thing. The Most High can destroy you just for that. You smell pork that's cooking, that's your ass. And these Latin tribes, the Most High gonna fuck you, you fucking Latin tribe, you fucking boneheaded Latin tribes up. Here you got IUIC, they set up camps all over. They went down to South America, Puerto Rico, Spain. Ain't nothing gonna pan out for that. You just wasted some money. go, prove me wrong. Prove me if you can prove me wrong. IUIC Puerto Rico, IUIC Spain, IUIC this, IUIC that. Show me that they're getting thousands and thousands of hits. They ain't. That's why the Most High gonna cold fuck you tribes up. What happened in Mississippi? Ain't none of them niggas, they saw videos, they were talking shit about the Israelites. They kept going to church, they kept doing what the fuck they was doing, they kept being friendly with Esau, and look what happened. Yahweh by Shem Yahushua got they fucking asses, man. It says, and Most High just getting started, man. It said, I'm getting angry, man. Surely oppression maketh a wise man mad. And all you phony balonies out there, you fake Israelites out there, like one thing that you're teaching, the MOTB, you're gonna have to explain when they have them fucking, they give you an ultimatum, you got to get this clip before the 30th or the end of this month. If you don't, you're gonna lose your job. You can't go to the hospital. You can't get in the Uber. You can't get into a Lyft. You can't go shopping. What the hell are you gonna do? What the hell are you gonna do? You gonna call on Jesus? You gonna kiss the picture of Caesar Borgia? Caesar Borgia ain't gonna help your black ass. It said the altar also was filled with profane things which the Lord forbideth. Neither was it lawful for a man to keep Sabbath days or ancient feasts of fast, or to press himself or to profess himself at all to be a what? A Jew, an Israelite. And in the day of the king's birth, every month they were brought by bitter constraint to eat the sacrifices. And when the fast of Bacchus should be feast, because they don't fast on the day of Bacchus. Bacchus, which is Dionysus, was kept. The Jews were compelled to go in possession to Bacchus, carrying ivy. And the thing about the ivy, they would take a brand and they put an ivy leaf brand on your arm. That's in the history. So basically, that was the mark of that day. I mean, I don't got to read anymore, but you can read this whole chapter. Get into it. So let me go into these precepts now. Okay, so this is about a restoration, Dr. Brown. We lost this. We lost this information. That was part of the curses. The fact that our foreparents broke the laws, statutes, and commandments. We were going to go into slavery, and we wasn't going to have the name of the Most High. When you go into the history of Israel, from the time of us coming out of Egypt, we kept going into captivity, and we kept calling on the Yahweh. We kept calling on the Most High's name, and He would always send a deliverer, right? So that's what they did. They went, they followed other gods. When they got taken down by a nation, they would go back and they would call on Yahweh. So you know what the Most High did? He said, I'm gonna cut the name from you. I'm gonna cut the mind of Israel. I'm gonna cut that from you. And I'm gonna do it with this man, Esau, which the world calls a white man. You knew that you were Israelites. You spoke a form of Hebrew back in West Africa. When the 10 tribes, when the Northern Kingdom came to the Americas, what language was they speaking? And there's many documents on that. They were speaking Hebrews. That's why with the Puritans and the Pilgrims and the different religious leaders that came, the Edomites that came to America, there was a thing out there that these are the Israelites. That's what they used to say. I did videos on it. You can look that up. You had prominent men that were religious men into the scriptures from Europe. When they came to the Americas, they said, these people, these Indians are descendants of Israel. There was Mel Brooks made a movie called Blazing Saddles. I believe it was in that movie, or it had to be in that movie. If I'm not mistaken, you had a scene in the movie where you had a Gadite, and one guy called him you a Jewish Indian. So they put it in there. Esau throw it up in there, showing you that they know. They know who we are. Vocab knows who we are. The proof is overwhelming. That's why Dr. Brown had to go into the DNA, because he can't prove it out of the scriptures. See, DNA, when you go to the DNA, the Y chromosome goes back to the Lemba people. The Lemba people are Levites, man. They're black people of Southwest Africa. And you go deep into the history, the Levites came out of Lemba. I mean, I don't go all into that. So you just admitted it. There was another guy. Let me bring him up. I did a video on him. Bear with me for a minute. Okay, this guy right here. He came out Jewish genetics and the Lemba tribe of Africa. He says that the Lemba tribe of Africa, they go back to the Israelites of old. And this is you can clearly see he's what they call an Ashkenazi. So come on, let me come back over here. Let me go into these precepts. I'm gonna try to move quick. I did a lot of yapping. Please forgive me. Okay, so let me go to Genesis 17, verse 14. Let me bring that up. Okay, so I open with that. An uncircumcised man, child was whose flesh of his foreskin is not circumcised, that soul shall be cut off from his people. Now, whose soul shall be cut off? The man or the parents that don't do it. What's the example of that? Let me see if it's in here. Let me see if I can find it. I believe it's in here. Bear me for a minute. I'm going to find it. I'm going to show you who's going to be put to death. Okay, it's not here. Let me do it this way. Let me do it this way. Let's see if it comes up. Okay, it came up. Exodus 4, verse 25. Then Zipporah took a sharp stone and cut off the foreskin of her son and cast it at his feet and said, surely a bloody husband thou art to me. She cursed Moses out because Moses didn't circumcise his son. And this was a woman from another nation. Let me go up a couple of verses. Okay, let me start at 24th verse. Exodus 4, verse 24. And it came to pass by the way in the inn that the Lord Yahweh met him and sought to what? And sought to kill him. Kill who? Moses. And Zipporah, a heathen woman, was up on it, man. And she did something, she moved quick. Then Zipporah took a sharp stone and cut off the foreskins of her son and cast it at his feet, Moses' feet, and said, surely a bloody husband art thou to me. So he let him go. Then she said, a bloody husband thou art because of the circumcision. Let me show you that she wasn't an Israelite. Let's look at the word Zipporah real quick. Let's get the Tazapara, daughter of Reuel or Jethro, wife of Moses, and mother of Gershom and Eleazar. So yes, the Lord does say that if you don't circumcise your kid, you will be cut off. Moses almost got cut off from among his people. But there's a thing called reincarnation. We come back. We're coming back into the Lord. That's why when you have a new member come to the camp and they're not circumcised, you tell them, go get circumcised. That's the whole argument with circumcision in the New Testament. Read Act 15. Timothy got circumcised. Titus did not get circumcised. And that came from the heads, from the head apostles. They said, you don't got to get circumcised. Next precept. And Yahushua answered and said unto them, Elias or Elijah truly shall first come and what? Restore all things. So when did he come and restore all things? It was during the time of Abba. It wasn't necessarily during the time of Elijah 2,000 years ago. Partially it was because he was the forerunner for the Messiah. But you can even say he had a more important job when he came back as Abba. Abba is Elijah. Let me say that again. Abba Bibbins, or Abba Bibbins, however way you want to say it, is Elijah. Bishop Nathaniel is not Elijah. They're teaching that secretly that Bishop Nathaniel is Elijah, the prophet coming back. The man that put the 12 tribes sign together came under the tutelage of Elijah, which was Abba at that time. That's why that sign is so controversial. The Most High put that in Ezekiel 37 chapter for a reason, the 12 tribes. There's no record of Elijah walking around with a 12 tribe sign. There's no record of the apostles walking around with a 12 tribe sign. The fulfillment of the 12 tribe sign is taking place right now. Matthew 10, 5 and 6. You can actually read the whole chapter. These 12 sent forth. These 12 Yahushua sent forth and commanded them, saying, go not into the way of the Gentiles. Don't teach the Gentiles, the other nations. This is talking about the actual Gentiles. And into any city of the Samaritans enter ye not. These were the whole Samaritan thing goes back to 2 Kings chapter 17, where they place, instead of the children of Israel, they put in place there the king of Assyria, put in place there these heathens, and they were being attacked by lions. And then they came to the point that we're not keeping the law of the land. So they got one Levite, one. Don't give me no story. Well, that Levite, he laid down with 500 of them Samaritan women. And you have, okay, if that's the case, and they are those people of, look, he didn't come to have sex. He came to, and furthermore, he couldn't have sex because he was a priest. A priest cannot lay with a woman of another nation. A priest, pursuant to the law, cannot lay down with a woman that was dealt with another man. A priest had to have a virgin. That's part of the law of being a priest. So he came to do one thing. He came to teach them the laws. They started keeping the laws, and the Most High, he pulled the curse back from them. But it says, but go rather to the lost sheep of the house of Israel, and as you go, preach, saying the kingdom of heaven is at hand. What made them lost? The fact that they didn't know that about the Messiah, and the fact that some of them, ultimately, when you come down to the Apostle Paul, this truth is magnified to the Gentiles, starting with Cornelius. That's why you got to read Acts, the 10th chapter, and Acts 11th chapter. Anyone Wester that's teaching that Cornelius is an Edomite, you're on a low level, my man. Your spiritual eyes are not open. I ain't mentioning no names because I don't know how many people are teaching it or not. and the ones that are not teaching it, I don't know. So we were lost. That's why we didn't circumcise our children, because we were lost. We didn't know that we were Israelites. Psalms, like I said, I'm gonna breeze through this. Psalms. You can start from the first verse. I'm going right to the fourth verse. They have said, "Come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no longer in remembrance, no longer in the remembrance of the people around the world, the heathens, and more importantly, no longer in remembrance of us." That's why when you came and served slavery, that's why they separated the families. When they came over, when our foreparents came over here to serve slavery, we didn't come over here speaking English. They had to beat the Hebrew out of us. They had to beat the names off us and give us their own names. Next precept, Numbers 23 and 9. And you can read this whole chapter and the 24th chapter of Numbers. Okay, 9th verse, Numbers 23 and 9. From the top of the rock I see him, and from the hills I beheld him. Lo, the people, the Israelites, shall dwell alone and shall not be reckoned or recognized among the nations. They are not going to accept you. That's why you got these people, Dr. Brown, talking about you're possible, you can't be the people. Well, that's a good thing. You're fulfilling prophecy, Dr. Brown. You are not the people. You can't be the people. DNA doesn't prove it, and this doesn't prove it, and you didn't circumcise your children. And then he mentions about scant measure. Yes, scant measure compared to billions of Israelites, man. We're small. That's how do you think this man was able to take us down? Because the Most High scattered us. You can't take 10,000 men and take down 1 million people. Because they're gonna react to that. It's all about a numbers game. That's in the scriptures. It said the people shall dwell alone and shall not be recognized among the nations. And we shall not be recognized among the nations. When was that fulfilled? When we came over here to the Americas. During the time of the Roman Empire, we knew that we were Israelites. Egyptians, we knew that we were Israelites. All the Moabites, under the captivity of the Moabites, under the captivity of the Syrians, we knew that we were Israelites. The only captivity that we didn't know, it was Antiochus that attempted to make it where we didn't know that we were Israelites. And he succeeded on a certain level. That's why you have individuals like Cornelius. It says a 10th verse, who can count? He said, who can count the dust of Jacob and the number of the fourth part, the 25th part, or a quarter of Israel? So let's say Dr. Brown said, well, you got 47 million Negroes in America. Well, guess what? What's 47 million compared to 10 billion? That's a scant number. That's what it's talking about. And there was a point where Esau stopped coming to the West Africa getting slaves because Jake got ready for him and they were fighting him. They said, nah, this. And the way they got the slaves were tribes coming against other tribes. And it wasn't necessarily Africans selling Israelites, it was Israelites selling Israelites too. Going back to the wider kingdom, which means Judah, and then the Dahomey kingdom, they made a movie called The Woman King. That was the Dahomey Empire. Those were Israelites, right? And what they were doing was there were certain Israelite kings that sat up on the throne. They were selling their own people. There was one king, he was selling his own wives to the white man. It says, who can count the dust of Jacob and the number of the fourth part or quarter of Israel? Let me die the death of the righteous. Who's talking here? Balaam. What is Balaam saying? He's saying that we're the righteous people. And he said, if I die, let me die and come back as an Israelite. You cannot come back as an Israelite. If you started as a Canaanite, you're going to come back as a Canaanite. If you started as an Edomite, you're going to come back as an Edomite. And let my last end be like his. Be like whose? Israel's. Let me be in the kingdom. Let me be on top. Because what did Balaam see? And he told Balak, he said, man, let me tell you what the F is going to go down in the latter days. I said, these people, they're going to F you up. They're going to F up the Edomites. They're going to F up the Philistines. They're going to F up all these neighboring nations. And all those neighboring nations of Israel, just like we were scattered to the other side of the world, guess what? They were scattered to the other side of the world too. The Romans descended, the Edomites of the Roman Empire descended from the ancient Edomites. Small hats tell you that. Small hats tell you that. So let's go to the next precept. Okay, Baruch 2, verse 28. Wait a minute, did I put this? Oh, I'm on the wrong. I'm in the wrong. Where am I, Baruch? Okay, let me go to the actual chapter. You can actually start from the 25th verse. I'm going to go to the 28th verse. Okay, it says, as thou spakest by thy servant Moses in the day when thou didst command him to write the law before the children of Yasha'Allah, saying, if ye will not hear my, let me do it this way. If ye will not hear my voice, surely this very great multitude shall be turned into a what? A small number. What does that mean by scattering? Among the what? Among the nations. That's Deuteronomy 28 and 64. Where I will scatter them. What's 40 million people compared to 10 billion people? That would be considered a scant number, Dr. Brown. For I knew that they would not hear me because it is a stiff-necked people. Who made them a stiff-necked people? Romans 8:20 on down. Is that the Most High made you a stiff-necked people so he can fulfill his prophecy. But in the land of their captivities, America is the biggest captivity in around the world. They shall what? Remember themselves. The place that they're first going to remember themselves is the Americas. The truth came out of America. The truth came out of New York. The truth came out of Harlem, New York. The truth come out of 1 West 125th Street. And I've been in that school. I came into the school in the beginning. They gave me a key to both rooms. I can go 12 at night. I didn't want to go home by the school. I can sleep. I slept in the school. It says, and shall know that I am the Lord their power, for I will give them an heart and ears to hear. That's 31st verse. That's all I'm going to read. So we're in that time right now. Isaiah chapter 19 is coming to pass. Ezekiel chapter 37 is damn sure coming to pass. Ecclesiastes in the Bible, 1 verse 11, it's talking about the Most High is going to bring all things to your remembrance again. Deuteronomy 32 verse 6, let's see, 26, let's see what that says. I already know what it says. I said I would scatter them into corners. I would make the remembrance of them to cease from among men. They shall not be reckoned among the people. And more importantly, they shall not recognize themselves. In Matthew 25, it said there was a great cry made. And at midnight, there was a great cry made. What was a great cry? You are the Israelites. Bringing back what? Bringing back all things to your remembrance, though you once knew this. I mean, you can continue to read this. This was Numbers 32 and 26. I'm moving fast here. I already went to Numbers 5, Numbers 10, verse 5 and 6. Deuteronomy 28, verse 29. And thou shalt grope at noonday as a blind gropeth in darkness, and thou shalt not prosper in thy ways, and thou shalt be only oppressed and spoiled evermore, and no man shall save thee. Now, I never groped at noonday as a blind gropeth in darkness. There were certain jakes that are drunk and on drugs and heroin that grope at noonday or 3 o'clock. What does that represent? When you groping, you're looking for something. You're trying to find the truth, the meaning of life, who you are, why you here, why are you catching hell, why are you living in the slums and the ghettos of America, and a white man lives better than you. I was watching this one video. I believe it was Nashville, Tennessee, one of them places in Tennessee. I was watching Nick Johnson. There's an Edomite. He goes around the country and he goes to these ghettos, right? So, was it Tennessee? It was one of them places, and he went over there and he was talking to certain Jakes and Esau, and he basically said that they're trying to build that place back up. They're trying to make it like the second California, the second Silicon Valley. So he was comparing. They had this one guy, community worker. He was saying on this side of the street, you got drugs, you got gangs, you got the poverty. But if you go a block down, you got nice places, businesses, and you got Edomites. Guess what? We're a block or two away. A block or two away, there's like a line there, drawing line. On one side of the line, you're catching hell. You're under the curses. On the other side of the line, you got these Edomites prospering, man. And they got the police out there to make sure you niggas don't cross that goddamn line. So guess what? The curse is on one side for you, and the blessing is on the other side for Esau. And then all that's going to be flipped around. It's going to be spiritually flipped around. The fact that we're going through this hell, that proves that we're the Israelites. Restore. When something's, when you lose your memory and you get your memory back, your memory is restored to you. I'm almost finished. You can start from the first verse, Acts 1 verse 6. When they therefore will come together, they asked of him, saying, Lord, and I believe that word there is kairos, which means somebody over me in rank. Will thou at this time restore again the kingdom to Israel? And he goes on and says, and he said unto them, it is not for you to know the times or seasons which the Father hath put in his what? His own power. So even the Lord don't know. So what they didn't understand was, he thought when he came back to life. He died, he came back to life. And so he got the power to take the Romans down. There's another leg to the Roman Empire, which the only apostle that received it during this time of the writing of the book of Acts was John on the Isle of Patmos, Revelation 13. That's the second the rebirth of the Roman Empire. That's why when they came over here to this country, the rebirth of the Roman Empire started with what? It came out of Spain. Uh, Christopher Columbus, Cristobal Colon, he was a small hat. Queen Isabella, King Ferdinand, Queen Isabella, Torquemada, the Inquisition, where if you didn't convert to Christianity, Roman Catholicism out of Spain, they tortured you and they killed you. Sometimes they just killed you. They burnt you on fire. They accused you of being a witch. They demonized you. So Christopher Columbus was going around saying that he was a Christian, but he really was a crypto Jew. And they took down the Moors. Why was the Moors taken down? Because they were Israelites. Now you got to go into the history. So that was the rebirth of the what? Of the dragon in Revelation 13. And what did they say when they came over here? Before they came over here, they called it the rebirth. Why you calling the rebirth? Because you was here at one time and you're reborn again. Malachi 4 verse 5. And we already know what this says. This was fulfilled during the time of John the Baptist and Abba. And his job was to restore the part of his job was to restore the 12 tribes. Give me a second. Who have ordained for reproof in their times to pacify the wrath of the Lord judgment before it break forth into fury, and to turn the heart of the fathers unto the sons, and to restore the tribe of Jacob's. We had to bring back the restoration. So he was a very important man in the kingdom, in his truth. Then you got Ezekiel 37, read that. And then you got Acts 3, verse 19 to 20. Let's go into that. And then we'll close. I'll read this quick and then I'm going to close. It said, repent ye therefore and be converted. Meaning get with the truth or get back with the truth, that your sins may be blotted out when the times of refreshing, we're in the times of refreshing. It's the starting point of the time of refreshing was what? When Abba came on the scene. Shall come from the presence of Yahweh. Anyway, with that, I'm going to say Shalom.